well met, lords and ladies. It's to me, Jacob, and welcome back to another episode of. No, okay. You know what? That's my solution to dead air next time. You know, instead of having the issue of okay, I'll just be silent while I actually scroll through and I go through my list of things. I forget to like sort them out while I'm in the meantime. I'll just make random noises. There we go. All right then. Yeah, I just forgot to scroll through. I need to clear out a bunch of stuff because yeah, not only do I still have a lot of the stuff that Emily left in that I still have got yet to check over and see what I want to actually keep moving forward, but I also have random stuff like this as well, which is just, you know, which I put on here to prove a point to I believe it was Aiden and Ghosty last time we watched Orange High School Host Club together. Those guys are not from that show, but you know, I'll talk about them another day. Maybe a Butter Bunch series, we'll see. Stay tuned for that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, today's matter, of course, is relating back to British pops, which I promised to look at yesterday when Tree Pop showed up, because actually there are 2 episodes that I have that I have yet to check out, basically. And I said that I want to do these in like batches. There's also, I assume, a sneak peek into something else because I thought people are going to ask me to watch that anyway, so I might as well download it ahead of time. So that one's also prepared. Don't you worry. Oh, well, it's okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Bon. I have no idea. I'm not glossing over like anything at all. Not absolutely not. Nothing to see here. So yeah, let's say that was like rainbows like the Bon Imagino sees. Well, I mean, Bon did actually make me in this tie-dye shirt for the Jacobs intro, or at least like the beginning of it before I got changed. So that does kind of exist. Kind of. I'm not stupid. Come on, check it, buddy, baby, do that conga. No, you can control yourself any longer. That's a Drumsy reference right there. Anyways, British Pops time. That's what you're on the view. Oh yeah, just a reminder, Billy and Mia, I believe, have not showed up yet in this series. That was my major complaint with that, with the 2-parter that opened up this show in the first place, was the fact that we still have we've yet to meet half the British pops, and the ones that we actually have met in the series, we already knew from previous series. So what's the point? That was my major thing. So that's why I'm concerned about this one being called Troublemaker Wins and Tamsin Quits. Not because I think that those are bad ideas for episodes. I would argue that an episode where the villains win is quite a novel concept in something like a pop series, actually. Aside from ballet pops, and you could argue maybe Eurovision pops towards the beginning, you know, depending on like what your stance on like that character death in the middle episode was compared to eventually the plans being thwarted. Either way, it's not done very frequently. So yeah, in any, but yeah, like normally I would say, okay, fine, you know, these are good things to have, but maybe somewhere I would have put these further down the line in this series when we actually met the other characters. But hey, maybe they're going to show up out of nowhere. We're going to meet them right away, like Matchy just appointed them. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Well, oh wait, this is still part of the intro. Never mind. For sure. I remember I complained about something in like the early Fallen Angels series, actually, where that because the way that Aiden did like the intro for Fallen Angels was that over time he would progressively update the intro with like new scenes in the middle of them, so you can actually, you know, get something different as the series actually garnered more content. Normally for TV shows, when they do that kind of thing, the shows are already pre-made, but because of the way that we work on gacha stuff, we don't have that luxury. It's the same thing that I attempted for Tales of Nicanor season 1, actually, which reminds me, I haven't done a season of that in 5 years. Anyway, aside from that, for that series, I actually updated it with like different things that happened in like each episode as like the series kept on going, like it kept on like progressing. I knew there was going to be an upper limit to how many episodes I would do for that, so I was like, okay, season 1, I'll do it this way. Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yep, there you go. That's the bingo. Yeah. By the way, if you want to showcase your drawings, ideally, if you want to do that next time, send them to me like a bit earlier, please, so I don't have to put them on during the stream. Like, you have my DMs, so yeah. Good, now I can talk about TMG. I mean, sure, but yeah, like TMG didn't have that because like the way that I did the intro there was like I specifically focused on like the voice actors, because that was, you know, the novel part of the intro. In that case, it wasn't just introducing the characters. Here is the name of the character itself, is the name of here's the actor. Ah, you haven't seen that in Gacha before, have you? That was the idea back then. But for Fallen Angels, Aiden specifically did that. What's the problem is that in Seneca North, I chose like combat scenes, things where like action was happening. With like early Fallen Angels, particularly the early Fallen Angels, there was a lot of most scenes were just dialogue. It was a lot of people standing and talking, because Aiden hadn't learnt yet that, you know, the lesson that people learn in Gacha quite often later on, which is that if there's a scene where people aren't actually talking, it doesn't mean that nothing is going on. Or even like not even a scene, even moments. If there's moments where characters aren't talking, it doesn't mean nothing is going on. What's the problem? It meant that like every single like bit clip from that he put in the intro was a conversation, which was distracting when you have like the music on top of that. Normally when you do that kind of thing, they choose action scenes for that reason. So that's why, and it seemed, the reason I bring all that up is because, you know, so like that part there where it seemed like Trubop was talking, it's the same issue, but even worse, because when it's not voice acted, that means you see the text on the screen at the same time. That distracts you even further, you know, going into it. Like, okay, what are they actually saying there? You're not focusing on the good visuals of the intro. You're focusing on the text, at least partially in your mind. Your attention is split, you know, even unintentionally. So that's why, if you're going to keep doing that, Trubop, pick a different scene, maybe where some like action is happening rather than just, you know, Tamsin talking, basically. It's a very long-winded way of going about saying that, but there you go. When we got to review, if it got to the point immediately, would it? Don't worry, Trubop, Majesty will turn up again. We will have a great sec before she pops. We will have a great sec before she pops? What? I mean, I've heard of regular seconds, but never great seconds before. What's that one like? Going on whether doing something while talking or something's happening in the background. At least for intro shots. You know, I don't mind whenever there's like, you know, a scene of like two characters talking just in the regular episode. I want to clarify that. But, you know, it is good to like have those other things, yeah. Anyway. Oh, hold on, I missed that. Up like a wait, hold on. Up like a book? Oh, when she pops up like a book, that was like one line. Okay, here's another thing. The timing of the frames is off here. I feel like these need to be Oh wait, no, never mind. That was just me. Never mind. Forget that. Wait, can you see Majesty? No, just a moon. No, who is standing in front of us? That's not a moon, it's a space station. Not the moon, but who is standing? That would be you, Tamsin. You're standing in front of me. You know what? I'll say this. Gacha, the Gacha characters spotlights naturally, without like doing much editing to their faces, can portray the no thoughts, head empty expression very well, actually. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's what I was saying before. Don't use a dialogue shot for something that's meant to hook the viewer into watching an episode. There we go. That was my main thing. Anyway. Oh, there is no one standing in front of us. Thank you. Now we are getting somewhere. Well, I mean, you haven't, it hasn't been a great second yet. Or maybe it has. I have no idea what a great second actually is. So, now, where volunteers to find Majesty? Where volunteers? There volunteers! Just give them a throbbing and turn their eyes a little further apart than they should be. And you're there. True, yes. That's it. Yeah, with adjusting, it's even better. But even like naturally, yeah. Okay, hold on. Here's the last message. Billy and Mandy? Oh, Mia. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, Mr. James talks about train station, maybe considered man influence. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I do remember watching that cartoon actually. Not regularly, but weird enough, I've watched more Billy and Mandy on like plane rides than I ever did like on air. It's one of the series that I keep wanting to like go in and like actually, properly dive into, and then I completely forget to do so all the time for like decades. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm making something. Oh, well, probably wasn't important. I'm expecting more villains. More victims, sorry. What's the point of that conversation who's in front of us? No, in front of us exactly. I think it's meant to be Tamsin being sarcastic, being like, "Do you see Majesty here? No? Well then, well then, what a surprise! It turns out that the Great Second was not worth it," or something like that, basically, being like, Majesty's supposed to be here, but she's not here, so that's the whole thing. So yeah, it was a character moment, if nothing else. Look at me. I'm not scouting around looking for Majesty. Here's an idea. Majesty has a spaceship of her own, right? These two aren't in Celeste currently, if I remember correctly, but Majesty does still have Celeste, and that's where she is like the majority of the time when she's not undercover in like Baywood Academy or something. So, Also, yeah, okay, fair enough. There, in danger. All right. Oh, yeah, no, to my knowledge, this isn't Celeste because like Tree Pop and Trust Pop started off as like or Tree Pop and Izzy Pop, I suppose, started off as like free agents that kind of got like put into the franchise later on, so that Tamsin could do crossovers basically. So they kind of like had like their own thing going on before Majesty even showed up. So this is their spaceship, is my understanding. Yeah. There we go. A premium pop fan now. Freelance pop groups. Well, I say they were free agents. Now that they're becoming the British pop, Majesty has in fact made them less of a freelance type of deal. Also, arguably, Majesty kind of like planted the rings that they found in the episode 1 of True Pop and Trust Pop, actually. So yeah, I don't know. This could have been, a whole like orchestrated thing, even regardless of what happened. What about you? College. Today is Monday, and unfortunately, I unfortunately got to go. Catch you later. Oh my. Okay. Tamsin, normally I love your effects, but only when they're cropped, okay? Crop the effects and then they're brilliant. Great, guess I'm on my own now. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. I heard they're making Shrek 5 recently, actually. Kind of curious about that one. What can go wrong? Hi, have we met before? I mean, presumably yes, if you knew that she was arriving, correct? But okay. Yep, we have. Of course we have. I know your no thoughts head empty, but I mean, come on. Are you looking for someone? That's like should be a horror movie thumbnail. Yeah, imagine a bit getting like teleported away, and the first thing you see when you open your eyes in a dark room is majesty. Yeah, honestly, not a good point. Really? Then why do you look scared? Don't be scared of me. I'm not scary. I said I go to college to. No, I said I go to college too, as in like to something, but just not to nothing. Okay. I see. Hello, Majesty. I'm here to take to another location. Hold on, you're going to take her to another location or take Izzy Pop? What? Her? What? Her? What? I didn't like the way you stare into the camera. Yeah, that's actually one like bit of advice they give you is that is that if you look into directly into the viewfinder or directly into the camera lens, if you don't have a viewfinder, it's like very off-putting. So I could like the whole video like this if I wanted to. Basically, every time I looked up and I wasn't reading the scripts or something, but it just doesn't seem the same way, right? It just seems weird to do it kind of this way. So that's why, yeah. That's why it's advised to not do that. So I kind of look like this, basically, as I was looking down. Yeah. Just look down the hallway, you see sparkles, then bam, Mantis suddenly jumps at you. You're alone in the woods, Shia LaBeouf. But yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's one way of doing it, Typically in Gacha, it's common to see purple cheeks for suffocation. Interesting. I would have. I mean, yeah. I guess thinking about it, whenever like in cartoons, I've seen stuff like people do like suffocation by like having the characters like turn blue, like having the skin turn blue. But I guess it's a bit extreme for Gacha. Or at least it would look more extreme unless it was like fade in properly. So yeah, purple cheeks, I guess, would kind of make sense. There's like a medium between the two of them. I mean, red and blue making purple and all, I suppose. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in this case it is just the characters, the characters blush. But yeah, it's off-putting, now it's like you're looking at me like me. Yeah, exactly. It's always very frequent that happens. Yeah. They do that that happened even in like Reefer Madness in like 1937 or whenever that was made. They do the thing where it was like, this scare could affect you and you and you. But yeah. Oh no! Sorry, no. It was no. That was like later on. That was the parody version. It was like it could affect your child or yours or yours or yours because it was like a parent PSA. So yeah, that was the idea. Oh my goodness. I'm not letting you take Majesty. In fact, we are escaping. Okay, so it was Majesty who was being threatened, not Izzy Pop who was right next to her. Okay. By the comparison to Ida's shadow, Ida's floating right now. Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I thought she was like mid-jump or something, but no, she's this is just a comma pose is elevated. See, this is why I take the shadows off of the Gacha characters. It's useful in some instances, just not normally the situations that I deal with. Also, City's ability has to have two shadows, like one that seems to be like chroma keyed in almost. I don't know. Maybe True Pop tried to adjust for that, but didn't quite manage to do so. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's not the shadow. That's like the bit like between her feet, between her ankles. That's the shadow because that has the purple chroma key to it. What's underneath it is actually like the spotlights from the actual background itself. Because there's one that's in the bottom right corner as well. So those are meant to be like the spotlights, and it's looking like it's looking like the third shadow, even though it technically isn't. Okay, before you escape, Ma- Majesty, recruit for new pops. Lots of them. Okay. Yeah, I can't see this backfiring whatsoever. I can't see this going in any wrong way for a villain recruiting more people who would definitely turn against her. Oh well. Majesty. Yes. You're safe. I didn't use chroma key or chroma key. I mean, what in that case, why is the outline of the shadow purple? That seems even stranger in that case. I think you might have to like update like a setting on the character if that's some that feels like an oversight from like some like experimentation with designs or something. Anyway, Tamsin, I need some urgent backup. Are you available by any chance? Also, hang on a second. Is that an actual ring on the character's finger? It kind of looks like it actually. That's pretty nice. Actually, even looking directly at it too. All right. I'll be there as soon as I can. Just got a few more lessons to do, and I'll be straight there. So let's think about the time-wise, by the way. Let's think about the timeline of this. So, Tamsin said, you know, in the scene just before this one, that she had to go to college because it was Monday and it had a few lessons. That implies it's the start of the day. However, now we have the situation where, well, in that time, Izzy Pop teleported immediately to Majesty. They talked for about, I don't know, maybe like 30 seconds. Then Troublemaker showed up. And during that time, let's give it like another minute or something. Then I don't know. Then she decides to call Tamsin, who seems to be almost done with her lessons. It's been a minute and a half. In 90 seconds, you do not finish your most of your college day. I know there are some days where you have fewer lessons. Oftentimes in college, actually, especially in the UK, lessons are much more like spaced out. You know how in Falcon University, if you've seen that, you've seen enough AFMA content to know, how how like Terra and AFMA were both like really surprised about like how much free time they actually have, non-timetables timing. That's usually because like the lessons are spread out, but there'll still be like a few of them in the day. So you can have like hours of break time in between, to do stuff and then come back for something else entirely. So yeah, essentially that's how most college days work. So this would not be how this works. Unless we're talking about college in like sixth form college, because I just realized I never like clarified the distinction with Tamsin actually, whether or not she means like college is in like sixth form college versus university college, how like most Americans say it. Because if it's sixth form college, then yeah, it's less spaced out, but that's even worse actually, because in sixth form college, it works more like a typical day, more like a typical like timetable school day. So yeah, this doesn't, the math isn't mathing either way, honestly, on this one. Well, be quick. I don't know how long you will be, even though you just told me. Oh no. Come on, Majesty. Let's go. And they are gone. Tamsin, it's too late now. It's been a whole 10 seconds. Compared to the 90 that I gave before contacting her, that's an eternity. Okay, that wasn't just me, right? The music was not timed properly. I know that the stream is like, I think it's like lagging a bit behind in terms of the audio, but I'm pretty sure that music did not cut in that late. Although maybe I'll have to check the original video. link in the description. People, if you want to see if that's what our time was, maybe that's just a me thing. Anyone else seeing a pink voice? Well, you can't see voices, so good luck with that. Okay, where's Troublemaker? Because I'm going to give her a piece of my mind. She has majesty. Wow, just the dull delivery of that. She has majesty. Void. Okay. I thought we were trying to get me to like do like the Fred voice or something because it's a pink character again. It's like I don't think I can do that for Tamsin. But yeah. Not again! Wow, it kind of feels like, you know, going to an ad break on a 90s sitcom. She has majesty, not again! Ads over. I can't believe that Troublemaker took majesty! I'm saying this again because we've gone to an ad break and people have forgot what happened in the episode. But yeah. Okay. Honestly, yeah, that shocked face, my second favorite visual of the episode. The first one being the actual drawn-on ring for the character. Got some reason what's going on with my camera. If it's my webcam, then yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. If it's the video, then yeah, I don't know. Honestly, in real time, I'm not sure how to fix that. But thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Either way, final thoughts on this one. Okay, so Troublemaker did in fact win this time. I wasn't expecting there to be like a major fight because I know better than to, you know, hope for the, you know, for British pops at this stage. But yeah, like I was hoping that Isabel would do more than just like teleport to one side. Like she would actually like try to like attack Troublemaker potentially, especially because she was right there, you know, to like free Majesty. Like maybe like at least like something there. You know, like what, like even one attack would have been nice. Like some attempts to be like, oh no, I need some backup here, which is a good question. Why did she need Tamsin exactly? She was already transformed, you know, like perfectly able to take down Troublemaker, honestly, or like get her away from the room or try to give her majesty. I don't know. Even like sing a solo song actually, which would be even easier to actually perform, whether or not that is like getting like, you know, actual like Isla in real life to do the song, or you know, Tamsin the Creator doing it. I don't know. There were some options there, but it does kind of feel like, you know, it like Tamsin was not needed there. So it seems very contrived that Troublemaker won that easily. I still think she definitely could have won this because if she could actually turn Majesty on Izzy Pop in that case, and that be the way that's that they both got away, like after some sort of like, you know, scuffle there, some minor altercation at least. That would have been nice. But yeah, the way this kind of happened this time, it just really establishes how little like a lot of pops do in the franchise. It's not every series, but a lot of series they just kind of stand there, and most of the time the villains back down. It just happens to be this time that hold on. It just happens to be that this time the villains decide to back down, not back down instead, but they could do that like literally like any time. That's how flimsy a lot of the framing for some of these shows are, and it just only like it stands out a lot more because we're seeing the opposites of that, but it's the exact same problem. So yeah, also cropped effects. Yeah, that part I just had to mention again. All right, so that's so creepy. I need more. Yeah. No, so without the British pops, also true. Yeah, they never came into play, which is going to be interesting now because the next episode is Tamsin quits. So let's see what that's about. Let's see what happens with Tamsin Tamsin quitting. There it is. don't know who you are. Hello. Hmm. So is the official name for tree pop a gang at the British pops? Well, it, it will be once there's a gang. There isn't one currently. But actually, here's a fun fact that you'll like to know, Bon. In the script for one of I saw it at that time that the camera reloaded. In the script for episode 1 of Weather Pops, actually, there was there was actually reference to Tree Pop specifically. But she was actually like that was like decided to like told like, okay, this is Tree Pop from the British Pops. Like she was actually referred to as such. And I'm pretty sure the creator of Weather Pops was a friend of Tamsin, so that kind of makes sense. But that also means that Tamsin's identity is not a secret in universe as well. I can't remember if I kept that part of the script. Like when I went like back to rework it, I kept as much as I could, like from the series that I could like do justice to. I changed a lot of like character like minor details or something because a lot of them were basically just like they're like all of them were sassing like everyone. Everyone was like way too mean, honestly. Like, there was no one to really probably root for because like, it just seemed like they were written to be unlikable to some degree. So that part I changed, but most of the structure, like how they came together, most of that's the same. But anyway, you think I did that actually? Maybe I might have mentioned that when I was like doing one of the editing streams or something, possibly. Wow. Okay. So I unpaused that and it didn't like recalibrate for a long time actually. So yeah, this is absolutely a case of that the transmission before was definitely the case of like my computer lagging. But I like how like even like the loading of the cameras didn't actually like help at all. Like it okay. Anyway. So many times probably I think I'm famous. I mean, it's possible. Was that like depends if it was like discussed with you actually. I thought that might have been like a thing that the two of you like planned together, but maybe not. Maybe that was just a spur of a moment decision that was also not consulted from you. In which case, I probably would actually take it out of the thing because it's like, why on earth would be like going to this? I guess there's also a relief that you haven't shown like the actual college that Tamsin way the game. That being said, most colleges, sixth form otherwise, don't have uniforms, and this school specifically does. That's another problem. Anyway, I'm going to try and see if I can actually make this a little bit more bearable. Okay, that's about enough. All right, let's try this again. Nope, still not working. This is so terrible. I could have come sooner. I've been the worst British ever. I'm the worst ever. I'm gonna challenge his breath control. Oh please, I'm gonna exceed that challenge. That's one of the theater skills that I have like large doses of. Sorry to say this. I'm gonna have to quit being a British pop. I didn't get here one time for a mission that you didn't need me for. I've got to resign. No! For crying out loud. Okay. So the reason I was like intrigued by this title, apart from like, I would have been if it had took place a little bit later and we'd actually met the other British pops first, is because I actually because it's actually fascinating to me like what brings superheroes to quit, because they go through so much and then like at some point there needs to be like a reason for them to like to resign. In other case, like the most famous example I guess would be Spider-Man in some interpretations, like the live action movies, for example. Both the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and Mark Webb Spider-Man, they actually both do the same thing, which is they both end up like quitting at some point. One of them, however, quits it's because like the stress of the job, which is something. It's relatable, but it's like not as compelling as the reason that the other one quit, which is of course the famous the famous Gwen Stacy moment. Enough said about that. So that's one example. I guess another example would be Miraculous. They don't so much quit at the time. Or I guess like sometimes they kind of like renounce temporarily for like a few seconds, which is like the basis of like the London special at one point and blah 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 blah. But yeah, like specifically like the Kwame's choice for season 5. Minor spoiler for season 5 here. There's an episode where Tiki and Plag both decide they've put Mountain Adrian through enough, so they're going to voluntarily depart from them. And then find new holders. That's all I'll say about the episode. What happens in that one and yada yada. The reason they kind of give for that is because they seem to be it's because like they can't like have a romance together because like the stress of like of it's because like the rules behind it, or like what they're sacrificing is each other, and that's like a whole thing. I mean, yeah, I guess, but also honestly, another stress of the job situation. But ultimately, regardless of like the motivation the show gives, it is essentially a case of like they became overwhelmed to some degree. They've been doing it for such a long time that it was like it was just too much for them. Either way. So yeah, like again, I'm not getting to the main point here. What's happening is that is in this situation is like, okay, well, in a lot of cases, it becomes like an overwhelming thing. Here's the thing in this situation. The pops, for the most part, especially these pops, have done almost nothing but win. Like, they get to sing songs, they get to, fawn over Eli, because of course they do. They kind of like, they get to stand there sometimes while the villains do some things. The worst that happens to them is they get hypnotized, but that breaks almost immediately. So like even after this time, I don't get the sense that there's so many like trials and tribulations behind this. And like, so they've done nothing but succeed so far. So the idea of quitting immediately after the first failure that ever happens, that's not compelling. Superheroes fail all the time, and they get over that. They work to fix their own mistakes. That's what makes them that's what makes them like compelling to watch. That's what makes people root for them. That's what makes people look up to them and admire them. In this case, and probably for a lot of other pop groups as well, not all of them, but a lot of them, this is a similar thing. Like if they fail once, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Or in this case, I would say, if at first you don't succeed, just try, for crying out loud. Like, it's not it's like, just like Rescue Majesty. You've done it before. Well, I mean, maybe not this like Rescue Majesty specifically, but you've rescued people from hypnosis before. What's different this time? Maybe it's the case that she was at college at the time and thought that she couldn't like have the work-life balance. Again, let's go back to Spider-Man for a second. The work-life balance is one of the things that they really focus on for Spider-Man. And the reason for that is because like it's a thing that like weighs on him significantly. And a lot of Spider-Man, like particularly cartoon series, but also the comic series, I assume as well. But most of the cartoons, they are about that work-life balance. Like Spectacular Spider-Man, regarded as one of the best like cartoon series of all time. Not sure if I agree with that necessarily, but it's regarded as such. I do love it, and I was obsessed with it when I watched it for the first time, so I can see why. But either way, that's like the whole like gimmick behind that. Your Friend Neighborhood Spider-Man, the 2025 series on Disney Plus, that again I've also experienced for the first time. Yeah, it's not as predominant, but it's certainly, because it focuses on like a lot of like Spider-Man's origins as well, or their version of his origins. But yet it still happens. Like it's such a thing. It was like, okay, well, if he gave up on like the first hurdle, if any superhero gave up on the first hurdle, then how are we supposed to relate to them? In real life, we fail all the time, and this is what we get. Time management is like the first time it ever comes to conflict. How long has Tamsin has said that they've been going to college in universe and out of universe? At some point, it's gonna be like, okay, well, here's one thing I can do, but like at some point, you're gonna be double booked for like a bunch of things. Trust me, I know this. I know this very well. I'm pretty much like the poster person for like double booking on stuff by accidents and on purpose sometimes. So yeah, if a superhero gives up on their first hurdle, they aren't a superhero. Thank you once again for summarizing my major rambles. I'm so glad that you're here. There we go. Just keep with your like Cliff Notes version of Gacha review. You're all leaving me? Yes, I'm afraid I'm leaving you. I am all. Well, if yes, Troublemaker wins, that she has majesty, then we... What? If yes, Troublemaker wins, then she has majesty, then we are over. Huh? What? I think I'm all having a stroke right now. Anyway, I guess this is farewell adieu. You have not earned a farewell adieu here. You of all people, Tamsin, know the power of farewell adieu in the context of like pop stuff. This is not a farewell adieu moment. This is the farewell see you at the home we both live in. And of course, play the instrumental because, it has to be at this point. It can't be a ballet pops reference without playing actual ballet pops. There we go. And then back to watching Madoka Magica as we think about the science of magical girls, because spoiler Magic Girls down Madoka Magica, civilians don't even know about. Yeah, well, interesting. I mean, honestly, the science of magical girls, like another thing, was like, I tried to combine the two at one point, and I failed miserably in the pitch of that. So, good luck if you manage to work that one out. Said that to a purple. Yeah, I guess she is acting like the pink pop in ballet pops, by which I mean dumb as a brick. And there's the non-cropped effects again. I hope she will come back. Okay, interesting. In the same corner, which means that it was a case of like putting the character like removing them from the scene, change the background, and putting them back in. All right, fair enough. Which now I think about it, also like with this like 4:3 ratio as well for Gacha. I've never seen it like what's that something that's that Tams has to bear in mind when making the series. Actually, this whatever like recording is going on is a 4:3. Yeah. Okay, all right. I've got a visiting bag pop ring there. I would have like cleaned out maybe like the sides of it a little bit, but hey, that's something. Farewell Adieu is perfect. Farewell Adieu, the original song, can be described by some people as perfect. But yeah, there we go. Not in this situation. It's perfect. I wouldn't say the song is perfect because like I wouldn't say like anything is perfect. That's the like well, actually I have said that a couple of times actually. But yeah. But Farewell Adieu, like one of the most effective moments in like the franchise history. But it's effective because of how it's applied for the situation in question. So yeah. What does it mean when pop is in the title? Genuine question. Well, okay. Since I know that since you're on the musical editing team, then I assume you mean like that pop. This is not related to that pop, unfortunately. So yeah, pops in this case is the group term for pop stars and superheroes, as coined by Totally TV. So yeah, pop is like a superhero name. Yeah, in this context, essentially, yes. So not related to Mutant Girl. I shouldn't regret myself for leaving the British pops. You don't regret yourself, you regret something that you did. Everyone is counting on me. Yeah, all the more reason not to do this. Okay, so she doesn't even, I thought she was gonna like throw the ring away and like symbolically actually retreat from this. But no. Yeah. E3&4 is ashamed. Or I shouldn't feel ashamed. Yeah. Again, ashamed myself would also not work in this context, but you know. Yeah. That being said, I feel like there should definitely be some level of shame applied to the character in this particular case. And definitely should have been some sort of like revision for the writer when it comes to this episode. Because, I mean, actually, you know what? Another problem that comes up in a lot of pop stuff. This is particularly into Johnny specifically. Johnny has not so much like admitted this directly, but he has basically like all but confirmed it when I like asked him directly, like on camera once. So, like the way that he processes some episodes, and the reason that he has that some of the logic behind them is so terrible and so like sometimes actually triggering or traumatizing some people, depending on like how far he goes with it, is because he thinks of an idea that he wants to happen in this series, but doesn't play by his own rules to get there. So he'll think like, oh hey, you know, wouldn't it be cool if such and such happened? It's like, well, it would be cool if like if like if the grandkids were born around the time that Strike Back actually happened, so they can confront Gabriel, and I can feel better about the ending of season 4 of Miraculous because it was I was sad about Alia renouncing Trix. Which means, so would it be nice if I could actually see them and like say that the Kwamis are actually kept perfectly fine and not in cages, like was known at the time? Well, that it's a nice thought. The journey to get there involved a 10-year gap between seasons of Miraculous. They shouldn't have had a 10-year gap. The idea that the holders don't age and thus like appear to be the same way, even though that meant that everyone else would have still have aged, including Phoenix, and therefore the whole point of like mistaking for Adrian would not have worked. And then like several other things. I've gone in detail. If you want to see my review on Strike Back Sadness, you'll get like what is going on there. But that's the problem. Like he does that all the time. Even like the most infamous example, the teen pregnancy one. The teen pregnancy was an excuse for why the characters, the Miraculous characters, looked the exact same way that they did. It's because, oh, hey, they haven't aged. I don't need to redesign their clothes. I can save on that time. Of course. What's a couple of like implied pregnant fight scenes for ages? Yeah, of course. Bear in mind that also this is before the reveal of like how seasons 1 through 5 Miraculous took place over 9 months' time, which means that the conception would have to happen immediately and would have still been going on by the time that episode. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, in this case, it kind of feels like the same thing, the same like core mentality problem, which is that Treat Pop here decided, I want to do an episode where like Tamsin quits. How am I going to do that? Well, let's rush the idea very quickly. A villain wins, and then she chickens out. Okay. I mean, for a superhero, again, pretty pathetic, honestly. But also, but it doesn't reign the same way. If you want to do certain ideas, here's the thing. Here's the thing that like, works for both Johnny and for Tamsin. Not just for this video, but for in general, I would say. If you want something, an idea of yours, like really be built up, or to really like be effective, I mean, build it up. Maybe you could do a thing of like, I don't know, like maybe in this instance, have several episodes with the full team, might I add, and then decide, okay, in that case, like now we've got to a point where like there's some like major disaster that happened because of a mistake that Tamsin made, maybe, or several cumulative effects of being in college and therefore like having that time commitment. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, for motivation, yeah. Give motivation, same motivation. Yeah, there we go. Something so small. Exactly. So make the reason something bigger. Build it up over time, because if you know like the theory of like delayed gratification, it's the idea that like if like it's where the phrase like good things come to those who wait. It's like the psychology behind that. So it's the same idea of like, okay, well, you put like two children in a room or something, and then like you tell or like a child in a room with a sweet treat of some kind. You tell them not to eat it. By the time you come back, and they get like double. But if they go for it immediately, then you get the one. Delayed gratification, because the child then gets like two treats afterwards. Better than one, I would say. And so would the child. Again, same idea was like, okay, well, you want to like really have this idea. If like, I'll tell you, there are some ideas that I've had for shows that have like currently aired, or even like ones that in general for story stuff. But like, talk about the Mutant Girl, actually, because like I know Bon wanted to mention that before. There are things in the Mutant Girl, like particularly season 2, but in every season, but particularly season 2, I'll focus on for now, that were decided like during the airtime of season 1, because the way that season 2 was actually, it was pitched to me like before episode 8 of season 1 happened. I'll let you in a second, Tamsin. I'll just like finish this example. I see you in the back rooms. Yeah. So, so like all those like pieces were put together during that time, and it took 2 years basically, and plus a little bit at the end. It took like 2 years and a plus a little at the end to like really reveal how everything came together. But that and it was and during that time, actually, it was like there was Aiden also pitched Through Her Eyes to me as a prequel series, which like added on top of that, and like the whole like way that all the machinations like came together, basically, all of those things, that those not have like worked nearly as well if I did them when they were exposed. Imagine if like Felix showed up during season 1 or something and like immediately revealed his true colors. It's like, okay, fantastic. Who are you? It wouldn't have worked as well. Like some things need time in order to like be properly applied. So there we go. That's what I would say to both Johnny and to Tree Bob. Sometimes there are things that you can do, like sometime, like, okay, yeah, Tara Zed resigning from, Tara Zed becoming a member of the Disco Pops. But should come in after maybe like an arc of like self-discovery, not just like, oh hey, she decided she was good, yesterday. Do we trust her? I guess we shall. Hope that doesn't come back to bite us. It's like, come on, really? If you're comparing this to, again, Harmony during the Rap Pops, or Hoppy during the the Rap Pops, like that right there, that took like several episodes at least. Like, it doesn't have to be like a full season or something, but at least like give it a little bit. It also gives a reason people to keep watching. It's like, okay, well, now I want to know where this is going. What's the big reason behind such and such thing that I care about? There you go. There's the reasoning for it. So yeah, long-winded thing again, long-winded rambling. My apologies. Tamsin, hello.
Hey. So I don't know why I made the last one short, because I didn't have any ideas for that one.
That's kind of what I was saying. Was like, okay, well, one of them, at least the episode 3 seemed to be like a means to an end of like, okay, well, it seems like this one is but this one was like the excuse. The last episode was like the excuse for this one happening, but it was like, but there was like almost nothing to it. Like it was like, okay, well, this is like the bare thing that happened, okay, but not even like how to get like through all those different motions. This could have been like a multiple like episode deal that keeps like growing and growing after we've met the actual group, and that eventually be like either like a mid-season or possibly like end of season 3rd act breakdown of Tamsin's character after like such a long time of like dealing with something. It finally kind of was like bubbling up to the surface, because otherwise it just kind of seems like it's like the equivalent of like getting like a particularly like hard problem as homework and giving up on the entire paper. And that's just not something that you want for a superhero who people are supposed to like, relate to and see as a role model of some kind. There's no ending in Ba Sing Se. There was also barely a beginning, to be honest.
I mean, Bond's got a question for me about having no ideas about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to rephrase this question a little bit. Why make these 2 episodes if you had no ideas for this for this point? Why not wait for cook this idea in your head for a little bit more and do something else, where we maybe I don't know, meet the rest of the team, for example. But even
I
anything,
do like
to be honest.
watching TV. That makes no, I do. No, I watch on TV and I came up with some ideas. I know that sounds a bit weird.
Honestly, no, not really. A lot of ideas that I come up with, I've either watched on TV or read in a magazine or something. Honestly, when it comes to true creativity, actually, it's not about original ideas, because very rarely or at all is it possible for humans to come up with fully, completely original ideas. It will always be inspired by something else that we've seen or heard or read or whatever. But the idea with creativity is mixing those concepts up so they're presented as something new. That's where inspiration comes in. So being inspired by TV, perfectly understandable. We all do it, absolutely. But but yeah, maybe they just need a little bit more cooking into it, honestly. Maybe a bit more inspiration from other places to add to the idea. And in the meantime, do something else first that maybe leads into the idea that you just had. You don't need to always blow up all your good ideas immediately. That's another thing that Johnny keeps on struggling with when it comes to remakes, because he remade a bunch of the big event episodes of Disco Pops in quick succession without the ones that came in before them that made them special in the first place. So yeah, these ones, bit of a rough patch. I hope we meet the team sometime soon. The only way that I could see this being salvaged maybe would possibly be if the reason that the team gets expanded is because from Tamsin quitting, Izzy Pop then decides, okay, I need to find more members. It can't just be me. Who do I get to help? And then I know I've got 2 friends, Billy and Mia. Maybe they'll be good candidates or something. I can't give them powers right now, but they can prove their worth by rest of majesty.
I will work it out.
Okay, good, because that's honestly probably should be the first priority in the series, is getting all the characters who are in the intro and are billed as main characters into the show. Because otherwise it seems like false advertising. Yeah. Writing a story is like watering a plant. If you force creativity out, you're going to end up drowning a plant in water. You've got to have time for it to sprout and grow. Yes, and my primary school self learned that lesson the hard way. So with that, when it comes to watering plants, so absolutely. Okay, we have one last thing here for today, because I assumed this was going to come up
I'm here for the sneak
in discussions. Yes, exactly.
Like I said, it's 15 or 16 minutes long. No, seconds long.
Yes. Great seconds.
Yeah.
But yes. What if I pretend to be the poor plant? It was a seed that never got the chance to grow. I'll say that. Okay. What if I just be that blonde girl fool? What if I pretend to be that blonde girl, fool everyone? And I will take her place and be the hero. You know what? You're onto something, and I like it. Okay, tomorrow. But I just realized this is meant to be it's meant to be like the new version of Nurse Chaos, right?
I mean, I redesigned my evil self.
Oh, this is your evil self. Okay, I thought it was meant to be like Majesty, like being reconverted or something.
No, I make a return. My evil version of me.
Okay, all right, got it. All right then. Okay, so all right. So one thing I don't know if this is like the first scene. I don't think it's the first scene, but it doesn't feel like it. One thing that they will need to do at some point is find out that Tamsin has quit, because Troublemaker at the moment wouldn't know that because he's busy recruiting other pops in the meantime. So they need to find that out at some stage for this to work. Also, actually, I just realized, what I said before about like Izzy Pop like finding ways to like wanting to like recruit people for herself because Majesty's not around. She can't give them powers; they can prove their worth in some way. Maybe with like really good singers or music producers or something, and that kind of like compensates for it. They help with like a disenchanting song, maybe. That would be a reason that they would be picked aside from like being kidnapped by Majesty, actually, because that's also would be quite original. But on top of that, it also contrasts Troublemaker's mission of recruiting other pops. Because if they're actively trying to like collect all these different people or something with Majesty's skills, that puts them in confrontation, with Izzy Pop doing the exact same thing, but for the purpose of good. So there you go. That might be your plot point there. Feel free to use that. That could be your inspiration. Just put this video on a TV. That'll work. Also, hi Finn. You came in at just the right time, apparently. I think that was literally my last point in the video, so I'm about to sign off. Whether it's like Evil Trooper might just bring back Trust Pop, or Evil Trust Pop does, despite there being a good Trust Pop. That's a fair question. And following up with that question, actually, why wasn't it called True Pop and Trust Pop if Isla was always called Izzy Pop and never Trust Pop before?
I don't know.
Was she meant to be called Trust Pop and you just changed your mind at some point, or Isla changed her mind?
No, her name's always been called Izzy Pop.
Okay, all right, it does make sense with the alliteration of the names and such. So yeah. Will I do batches of 2 for the rest of Jazz Pop Season 4 reviews since it's only 9 episodes? Let me think. Will I do batches of 2 for an odd number of episodes? Most likely not. Depends on how long they are. If the episodes are short enough, I will then like group them together. But if not, honestly, Jazz Pops has a lot to dissect on its own. So those episodes being separate also kind of works in some contexts. So yeah. Batches of 3 would make sense, of course, because you have 3 batches of 3. That's 9 is in fact a multiple of 3, so that does work. But yeah, there are batches of 2 there. But yeah, back to Ghost Kid's question: why redesign Evil Tree Pop and not bring back Evil Trust Pop?
Well, I decided to bring my evil self back.
Okay. I mean, honestly, for your evil self, from what this guy just said before, like pretending to be you in this case, it makes sense for that to be like your evil self, because who presumably look exactly like you in the right circumstances. So yeah, I can kind of get that from that perspective.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my evil self be me for Isla.
Yes, that's what the sneak peek was saying. Yeah. Okay. All right. Because yeah, actually, the reason behind this, if you haven't made, if made more this episode or not, but again, if you go with like the whole like recruiting, rivalry camps or something, trying to dismantle one of them via infiltration, actually also kind of aligns with that idea. So yeah, I think all right. Also, it is worth mentioning the design admittedly does look a lot better from what I remember Evil Tree Pop looking like. So yeah, also quite nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okie dokie. I think that's good. Batches of 9. It could be depending on what they end up being like. And also, yeah, I haven't done Jazz Pop through like some time anyway. Maybe that would be like a thing to do, over the course of the weekend or something. It depends. I want to bring back like other stuff as well. Like I said, February is going to be the month of doing like old reviews, or like bring back old shows, and then it ended up being the passing the torch month. So maybe March we'll go back into some other stuff like jazz pops. I was gonna do more Not Your Average Girl as well, particularly Witch
We're in
Academy.
March
that kind of thing.
already.
We are in March already. Yes, in fact, you and I are on the second day of March rather than the first, which is why I
Oh.
spent lots today cramming in Mutant Girl stuff because I'm getting, it's
Second
getting to
day?
the point where I'm like really crunching. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna get some food and then probably get back to that. Those Judas screenshots aren't gonna make themselves, although I wish they did sometimes. So yeah, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And subscribe done so already. Start season 3 if you want. Good luck with that. And on that note, until next time, farewell.
Goodbye, everyone.